I can do a lot, 15 minutes, trying to bring it, boy. Hi, thank you for joining me. This is the first, I believe it's going to be the first, one of the first members only videos, or Patreon videos. So if you're joining me, thank you for your support. And I have some spicy stuff. I have some really cool stuff that I want to talk about. I've written everything down. Today's topics are going to be, okay. Yeah, okay, so that's everything. All right, we can start with the cinema camera talk. So I think this is coming from a perspective of, I saw FX2, I saw the videos, and everyone's been saying that, yeah, Sony just, destroyed their reputation because, the cinema, it's not a cinema camera and stuff like that. So the talk that I want to do with the cinema line talk is, you see a lot of people, they talk about like, oh yeah, the FX2 is not really a cinema camera, FX3 is not really a cinema camera, FX6 and FX9, you don't see a lot of people talk about them, but, you hear a lot about like, yeah, that's not a cinema camera. And then you just think of like, what makes a cinema camera? I realize that a lot of people just say, yeah, but it's not a box, or it cannot record RAW. The RAW thing, I understand that. I do understand that, okay? Not even the ProRes, fine, I understand that. That's not something that I will reject. I understand that, but like, does it have to be a box for it to be a cinema camera? Does it have to do this to be a cinema camera and stuff like that? So yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, I think it's just a very pretentious way of looking at cameras. Everyone's just trying to do something with the stuff that they have. They shot the Creator with an FX3. It's officially a cinema camera. They made cinema with it. So, if they shoot a movie with an FX2, it's going to be officially a cinema camera. So I just don't understand why we have to be so pretentious about those stuff. That's the point that I'm coming to. I'm not gonna name the video that I saw that I thought it was very pretentious, but yeah. Yeah, I wrote here, it just feels like everyone's judging everyone. I mean, why can't people chill? Anything can be a camera. FX3 is a cinema camera because they did cinema with it. So I had the conversation of judging other people based on the cameras and shit. That's the whole point. Like, anything could be a cinema camera. Why are we so like... All right, so I have thoughts about the FX2 in a sense that I've used the A7 IV last summer, I believe. I didn't do a lot of videos, just tested it out. I had like a couple. The thing about the A7 IV that I liked was nothing actually. I didn't like the A7 IV. It's a good camera. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good camera. It's a really good photo camera. 33 megapixels, full frame, and it has very good dynamic range. It is a very capable video camera that has really good dynamic range and really good S-Log3, really good capabilities. But the thing about that is the rolling shutter is so bad. And I am someone that cares about rolling shutter. I am someone that has a problem with rolling shutter not because, oh yeah, the audience doesn't see it. It's not about that. It's because I change the way I shoot when I have a camera that I know that is not capable of rolling, doing a lot of fast handheld movements. It changes the way I interact with the camera. It changes the way I see things. And I don't want that to happen when I'm shooting something, when I'm shooting, I don't know, a script or the storyboard has something and it needs to be a movement. I want the camera to not be a problem when I'm doing that. So if the camera has a problem like that, it just gets in the way of me accomplishing that. It just gets in the way of me serving the story. So that's why I make a big deal of rolling shutter. And 27, 26 or like 31 or whatever millisecond A7 IV rolling shutter is, it's just not acceptable to me. I had a lot of problem with the ZV-10's rolling shutter. I still even have problems with FX30's rolling shutter sometimes on tight focal lengths, and when you're panning, you may have seen that in the Proteus video. I don't know if the Proteus video is live, or the nanomorph video, even at 55 millimeters with an anamorphic lens, you do get some weird wobbling. So, that's the problem with the rolling shutter. And the fact that they just, they said, oh, you know what? We're going to take that thing and we're going to mash into an FX body and we're just going to call it a... I'm doing the pretentious thing. I think how the cinema camera. Okay, it could be a cinema camera, but And that's my thought about the FX2. I'm not gonna forget anything that I said about the cinema camera stuff, but you know, you're just putting it into another body. Okay, it has better heat dissipation. It has a cool gimmick, the EVF. It's a cool gimmick. It's cool. I like that, but it's a gimmick. You know, it is what it is. I like the idea of them saying, hey, this could be like a director's camera, like BTS camera. I don't know if we have BTS camera, but you know, a director's camera, you know, they can just take stills for like location scouting and stuff like that. I understand that, but then for that price, you can get a used FX3. You can get an A7S3 for that same price. And you know, it has also an EVF and it has the same capabilities of an FX3. It could basically see in the dark. So yeah, I don't know how much of a difference that makes. Okay, let's see. The chip difference, yeah, there's a chip difference. The new autofocuses and stuff like that. I do understand the people that might need it, but again, I'm talking about my perspective. It feels gimmicky. I don't care about the so much better autofocus. FX30 has autofocus. This doesn't have autofocus right now, but FX30 has autofocus. It was enough. ZV-10 had autofocus. Wasn't really reliable at some points, but you know, it was enough still. Yeah, so I don't know, the new chip and stuff, you know, the better autofocus doesn't really interest me at all. Like, I'm using mostly either cine lens or manual lenses, old photo lenses, so it doesn't really it's not a huge point for me. Although I did see the active stabilization, that looked really well. I saw this morning a reel that looked really cool. If you take a closer look at it, you see some, you know, different stuff, but like, just because of that, I don't see, you know, it being a huge thing. Yeah. Okay, basically what I think about the FX2 is fine. If you want to use it for like location scouting or something like that, good, do it. But like FX30 is great for that. If you want to do something like that, or you want to do really location scouting, A6700 is so much more compact. You can still do an S-Log3. You can see, you know, do anything like that. It still does that. But I think, okay, if you're doing video and it's going to be on sticks the whole time, it's like a studio setup. I don't see a reason why people should not get that, because it is better than A7 IV for video, because it's not going to overheat anymore because of the body design, and it has like shutter angle, the big 6 menu, which is pretty cool. So, you know, if you're going to do it like that, I don't see a reason why not. But if you're in a controlled environment, climate controlled environment, you can just get the A7 IVs and then, you know, save a little bit of money, but it's going to be a studio build. It's going to be different, blah, blah. So A7 IV, I think it's a great camera if you're going to use it on sticks. Outside too, if you're going to use it on sticks, cool. But other than that, I do not really care for it. Or yeah, that rolling shutter is a big deal breaker. Why am I talking about this? Because I do feel like they're duping us with, oh yeah, the same sensor but just in a new body. You kind of feel as a consumer, you know, fucked over. So I don't want to feel that way. I love the idea of Fujifilm XHALF. I do. I really, truly do. And I think that camera could have been a great camera, in the sense that for 800 euros, I mean, just like it costs like 800 euros, I believe, like with tariffs or not tariffs. I'm in Germany. We don't have those Trump tariffs, that crazy stuff. So, you know, I have only the normal stuff, the normal the VAT and stuff like that. So it costs 800 euros. And I think for 800 euros, that camera is not a good camera. But if you were to price that under like 500, you price it like at 400. I didn't touch it. I saw a couple of videos. I believe it's plastic. I believe the lens is like okay, and I saw Cam Mackey's video that it's like super slow and it cannot shoot raw, that it has not the best flash and stuff like that. Thinking about everything, I think that camera is so great for the generation, because you see a lot of people getting those like old digicams or like point and shoot cameras with like film, which is, I'm not saying it's going to be the same as film, but for the stuff that people are using it for, I think it could be kind of like the same thing, because this one still gives you the experience, a different experience that people may wait out of that, like expect out of that whole shooting with film experience. Plus, has good connectivity, has those film simulations, everything like that. It's such a great, like, I would have bought it. I really would have bought it if it wasn't like a 800 euro. Or I would just like, I have so many friends that like ask, okay, hey, I want to get like a digicam, or I want to get like a point and shoot thing, or like those camp digital, whatever, those like film digital cameras like that. I would have told them, if this was like 400 euros in the price range, I would have told them, just get this one. It's going to be a little more expensive, but you're going to get a camera that's going to be good for a lot of stuff for a lot of years, and it's going to be great. It's small, it's handy, it looks stylish. Just get this. And yeah, I like the idea of XHALF. It's just that the price is so unbelievably expensive. No, like, I love the idea again, but it's just way too expensive. One thing though, again, that I want to talk about on the XHALF point is the fact that something like this, I guess, maybe, I don't know. The grain, I want to talk about grain. I've seen a couple of videos, and I just saw, like, before I wrote this, I saw Cam Mackey's video about the whole thing, and he showed pictures, and I think the grain looks weird in a sense that it's just like a one map, like a one TIFF map that you just put on Photoshop and then you put it onto screen mode, and it just feels like it doesn't, like, of course it's not going to be the same as film grain. I'm not asking for that, but like, there are textures and Alexa stuff, and you know, the Fuji has their own film simulations and grain effects, so it just kind of feels like, oh yeah, the same one is there, even if the picture is different, the same structure is there, same thing is there. So it just kind of felt weird, but I might be wrong about this one, so this might just be a moot point, but again, something that I've realized that I wanted to talk about and I wanted to bring up. So Fujifilm X-E5, yesterday it was announced. I'm talking a lot about Fuji stuff because I love Fuji stuff. I nearly bought an X-H2S, although I do love my FX30, but you know, I nearly bought an X-H2S. I just bought an X-E4, which I got scammed too with getting X-E4, which is a story for another day. But the bottom line is I bought an X-E4, and I waited to buy the X-E4 just to see what X-E5 would be at a price, because I thought, it's crazy. I bought the X-E4 for 1,050 euros, which is crazy, because like back then it did MSRP at 849 and I bought it for 1049. So 5 years later, and you're buying it for more than what you would have gotten it for. Okay, I bought it from MPB, which, yes, costs a little more, but since I got scammed, I didn't want to, you know, go through the hassle again. But you could get it on eBay for like 850 to 900 euros, which if you do this, like if you're in Germany and you do the safe payment thing, you pay like 10% more, I believe. So if I would have bought it for 850, it would have cost me about 920 or something like that. But you know, that's a whole another story. I waited because if it was like 1,200 or something, or even 1,300, I could have said, okay, you know what, I should get the X-E5 because it doesn't cost a lot more and I'm future-proofing myself a little bit. And it came out, and in Europe, body-only price is 1,600. I think X-E5, from the specs, it's a great camera. It is. It's so great, I think. It really, like 40.1 megapixel stuff. You have internal 422 10-bit 6.2K open gate recording. It's not going to be a video beast, like it's not going to be a cinema type of camera, but it's going to be great for, you know, those street type of stuff, or like you want to do quick videos here and there and you're just traveling and you want to do a YouTube video, and you can still do that with that like incredible color fidelity and all that. And I think X-E5 is a great one. Body style is amazing. I really love rangefinder style cameras, and I'm not an SLR type of guy. But the fact that it costs 1,599, 1,600 euros, is just crazy. Body only. It's an incredible thing. And again, XE4 MSRP'd at $850, and now you're saying it's gonna cost $1,600. It's like a near 100% raise. The price is nearly 100% more. It's like 200% of what it was. That point to me is just crazy, and that makes me think like you could, because the idea is simple, right? It's like an X106, X105, XE4, but with an interchangeable lens, which is a great idea. So it should cost way less, because the X106's lens should cost more than 250 quid, 250 euros, right? It's like, I don't know. I think, again, it's gonna sell like hotcakes, don't get me wrong. If I had the money, if I could have waited until August, until it comes out, and if I had the money to buy that thing, I would have bought it. I would have bought the X106, not because I don't like the camera, I want the interchangeable lens capabilities of it, but I would have bought that thing. It's not because of that, but it just is so crazy that the price can be 200%. So if you think about the A6700, which I think is the direct comparison camera to this, that retails at like also like 1500, and I think if you were to think about that, it's totally fine, right? Like I mean, if we think about the camera itself, the price is not bad, but we have this like comparison of what XT4 was, and it costed 850 euros back then, and now you're saying this is the successor to it and it costs so much more. That just makes me like, it just makes me crazy. And if you were to, you know, give another name to it, if they were to say, hey, this is like XC1, I would have said, okay, that price looks good because it has a lot of features, and, you know, $15.99 for that kind of a thing, it's not bad. If you were to, you know, take a look at the S9 is a little bit of a different story, but, you know, we'll take a look at the S9, or if you were to take a look at the A6700, or I don't know, Canon doesn't have a lot of rangefinder stuff, fine. Leica is not even in that kind of a thing, but you know, it would have been fine. It's just the fact that XC4 successor comes with a 100% price raise is a kind of a crazy story to me. Yeah. Oh my God, it's hot now. Oh, okay. Again, love the camera. Would have bought it if I had the money and could have waited, but not gonna do that. So yeah. Okay. All right. That's it. Thank you for joining the members area. Thank you for joining the Patreon or YouTube, whatever. Thank you for doing that. I don't know whichever one pays more. I doubt that by the time this video goes out, I doubt that I have a member that I can show this to, because yeah, it's not that like a huge thing, and my analytics are really bad lately, and everything's just going down, and you know, stuff like that. But yeah, if someone sees it, I'll be happy. If no one sees it, I'll just, you know, I just like talking about the stuff and I like making the video, so I guess it's good enough. But of course it would be great to, you know, see some numbers raised too, although they don't matter a lot. Yeah. Okay. Good. There's gonna be, I think there's gonna be weekly or like bi-weekly videos, like every 2 weeks a video. I'll try to do more when I have time. And yeah, thank you for joining again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.